Aloha offline sharks. How we doing, everybody? Welcome to the Aloha Friday Marketing Jam session. I'm Tom Gaddis. I have my business partner and good buddy on the call. I never know which. Oh, look, I got it right.
Yep.
I got it right.
I got it down now, too.
Auntie on the call. Hey, we have an awesome live show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about our #1 productivity secrets. You guys are going to love it. We've got a lot of great shark shout outs. It's going to be a good call. Of course, we're going to take your questions. We're going to interact with you. So sit back, grab a cool drink, and I'm going to cue the intro. If I can find my mouse to do it. There we go. Found it. Here we go.
Are you ready for the fastest 60 minutes of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun on planet Earth? It's now time. The moment you've been waiting for. After 167 agonizing hours, they've returned. Broadcasting live from their island retreats, smack dab in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and now back for a brand new Sharks Live show. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
I hope that's the applause button. I just had a total memory for I don't know if that was it or not. Hey, well, I like that view from your office, Nick. It looks great.
Well, thank you.
I know you're getting your coffee there. Was that the applause? Is that the applause?
Thank you.
Yeah, does the crowd sound good out there?
Yeah, it sounds pretty
awesome.
Lovely. I can see them all down there.
Yeah. Are they doing another rally?
Yeah, there's some pretty insane. It's interesting. A lot of people, when I talk to them on the phone, and they're back in Hawaii or they're somewhere else, I'm like, yeah, I'm in New York. I spoke with we'll just call them an associate the other day, and they were like, how is it out there? Is it like
yeah,
it's just it's so the things that we get in our mind of perception, like it just has people so freaked out, like.
Well, it's not us. It's, that perception is kind of pushing on us. Like even the perception of what's going on in Hawaii right now, right. I'm sure it's nothing like what the news is making, because it never was from the beginning. Remember when we were there and we do during the lockdown and people were like, we heard Hawaii's totally shut down. Like, why are you guys even doing anything? I was like, well, it wasn't that way at all. Like people were still living their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just, I guess what I'm trying to say is the news isn't real life.
Well, it is real life, but it's not real life. I thought you were going to say something about New York, and it must be nice to be somewhere where you can like experience things as they actually happen. Like remember in Hawaii, like where you'd wake up and there'd be like some big thing that happened, and it's like now it's like 6 hours later and you're just getting out of bed. And that was actually kind of nice for getting, because we're talking about productivity in the show. That was actually kind of nice for getting things done because you didn't get sucked into all that stuff, right? Like by the time you woke up there, it's like it was already kind of like out there and sort of, wasn't such a big deal, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's interesting. Hawaii is such a different market because just in general, not in just the speed of information and time difference, obviously, but even for adoption in business and marketing and markets. Like here's an interesting thing for anybody that hasn't really like thought about this, and I don't know why many of you would, but like Hawaii in general, right? Like in 2008 when the real estate market dropped, well, the entire economy kind of dropped because of the real estate market. Everywhere else, prices for real estate just dropped immediately, like astronomically fast, right? But for Hawaii, it takes a little while. It takes like a year. We don't see, like, everything kind of takes a little bit more time to reach Hawaii, just like in technology, right? Like Uber was released to the rest of the United States, and Uber is just barely scratching the surface in Hawaii right now. Like it's like Maui has like 10 Uber drivers, so it takes a little bit of time. If you're in that type of market, you can get ahead of people. It's just the same with like Google updates, right? Like when Google rolls out an update, because there's not a lot of people in the less saturated areas of, big cities, you have more time to be able to reach out to people and get ahead of that change in technology and talk to business owners and see if you can help them, because the chances are they haven't even heard about it yet.
Yeah, well, and to tie this all back to productivity, I think the overarching theme of what we're talking about there is, if you want to be more productive, you have to be very selective about what you let into your awareness, and the more that you can tune out of what everybody else is tuned into, the better your productivity is going to be. So I know that was one thing that Hawaii really showed me the power of that, right? Because, you're so, like I said, you're so out of the news cycle that it's very easy to not, like, I hardly ever look at the news. Like, I mean, I used to be a daily newser. Okay. Like, wake up first thing. Yeah. Wake up first thing, fire my phone up, look at what's going on. Like, wanted to be like, I almost wore it as a badge of honor to be caught up on current events. Oh, I'm totally caught up on current events. Like, that was like there was some prize for that, right? Like, everybody'd look at me and be like, oh, he really knows what's going on with current events. Like, he's a good guy. And the reality was, it was impacting my productivity, right? It wasn't until I started weaning that stuff out. Now, I still do pay attention, right? Like, I just do it in a much different way. I don't jump up first thing and start scrolling through my phone. I don't, I don't have the news channels on in the background when I'm working anymore. Like, it's more planned out, something, and usually something that I do. I try to do. I'm not always the best at this, but when I do take a minute to kind of see what's going on, it's like at the end of the day, not at the beginning of the day. And I limit it, to 10 minutes, and I don't just spend a bunch of time on there like I used to. And that has helped my productivity. So that is one of the little productivity hacks that Hawaii taught me that I've carried into here, right? Like, I still do that here, and it makes a big difference when you can do that.
It does. And I think, and just to kind of keep going on the topic a little bit, like, I think for me personally, let me know what you all think on this. Like, the biggest piece of productivity for me has been just being consistent, like consistency to something, because I won't always get in the flow state of doing something until I can get in like a daily habit of doing it. You know what I mean? So I think for a lot of people that are just starting their business, it really is like a matter of having some consistency of learning a new skill usually. Or if you already have the skill and you're looking to grow a business, it can be consistency of starting to publish your information online or do your podcast or whatever it is. That consistency is really the key to productivity, because the more consistent you are, the more productive you are going to be. So if you break that down even further, if you have 3 hours a day where you just set aside that you can be consistent in growing this area of your business, for me, it's been, paid advertising or writing webinars or things like that. I have so much more productivity if I set aside 3 hours, get into deep work, and I just do those things consistently every single day, day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. Yeah.
And to the point where when you don't do those things, you feel out of whack. Right? So like, you don't do them for a couple of days and you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So I think, let's see, let me kind of sum up our productivity tips here, because I think we've given a couple of good ones, and then I want to add a third one in here. So one productivity tip, secret strategy, whatever, right? Regulate what your intake, your media intake, right? Regulate your media intake. Be conscious and aware of what you're paying attention to first thing in the morning, throughout the day, how much time you're spending out there instead of in the circle of focus, right, Nick? How much time you're spending outside the circle of focus. That's productivity tip number one. Productivity tip number two, consistency. And I have felt like for a long time, consistency pretty much beats just about anything. Like, I know people that can freaking work hard for 2-3 days. I mean, I used to be that way. Work really hard for 3-4 days and then like goof off for a week and then work really hard because you got to. And I've gotten more done the more I've leveled that out and become, just like you said, Nick, like you do, consistency each day. It's not about doing a ton of stuff every day. It's about doing the important things consistently day in and day out. And you can beat almost anybody by doing that. And like, it feels odd when you're doing it because you look at the people around you who aren't doing that and you think, oh man, I'm missing out. Like they look like they're way ahead of you because you're just plugging away day in and day out on this one task, this one thing, and they're doing this and they're doing that and they're talking about this strategy and that thing. But then all of a sudden you're like, you have something completed and you've gotten traction with it. And they're still like talking about this thing and that thing. And like, they're still in the same place. So I think that consistency is a good one. And then the third one that I'm going to bring up, and by the way, I have my ultimate all-time favorite productivity tip, but I'm saving that for the end of the show.
Is that Red Bull?
We haven't even gotten to that one yet.
Oh.
Huh?
Is that Red Bull or Rockstar?
No, it's not Red Bull.
Okay.
You're not getting it out of me till the end of the show, but it's not Red Bull. It's not Red Bull.
Look,
So, I liked this comment. I get up at the crack of noon. And, a third thing that I have done that had really helped me, especially in the beginning, is a consistent getting up at a good time to get things done for what I want to get done. And for me, like, that doesn't mean getting up at 4:30 in the morning, but like for me currently, because the girls have started school and there's things I want to do, right? Like I want to be able to focus on work. I want to get exercise in. Like that means for me, I know I need to get up at 6 a.m. every day. Like otherwise I'm not going to be able to get the things done that I want to get done in a day. Right. And that time has changed. Sometimes that's been 5:30 in the morning because I just to fit the stuff in I need to get done. Right. So being aware of like making that commitment to yourself that like, look, I'm making this commitment to do these things on a daily basis. And that means whatever it takes to get these things done. And if that means if I can get up at 10 and get all those things done, great. But if I need to get up at 6 to get all those things done, then I do that, right? And for me, because of my family, like I don't work at night. Like I don't work late into the evening because I want to spend time with my family. Like that's family time. That's sacred time. So that means because I want to have that ability to do that.
Sacred time.
That's sacred time.
All right. I was going to say there's still time to get you to work in the evenings. There's still.
Well, but I mean, how many times in the beginning, like I say that, right? Yeah, but in the beginning, how many times were we up till God knows what hours in the morning working? And when we do a launch and I got to be up at 2 a.m, I'm up at 2 a.m, right? Like, yep. I say that like I'm willing to do what needs to be done to get the stuff done, but on an ongoing basis, I like to have that time for my family. So for me, that means I need to get up earlier in the morning. Even if I'm not a morning person, I still need to do it because that allows me to fit the things in that I want to fit in. So I don't know what you would call that as a productivity tip, calendar awareness,
time management. It's time management,
self-awareness, whatever it is. I mean, I know me, if I don't work out in the morning, chances are I'm not going to work out. So that means I got to get up and do it in the morning, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. And I think one of the things that helps to be productive too is also surrounding yourself with other people that are productive, and if you're always around people that are like, sitting around all the time, going to the beach all day, like a lot of people in Hawaii, they're surfing every day, all day. And your goal in life is to like rapidly grow your business as much as you possibly can before your wife wants to have some kids. I mean, wait.
You can't surf every day. You're not talking about anyone specific there, are you, Nick?
No. I was talking about somebody else. But I mean, it's not conducive, right, to like hitting those goals. So if you're around people like, let's say you were in New York City, for example, there are a lot of people that were just doing stuff all the time and being productive. It is much easier to be productive. Another example would be like team sports, right? When you play for a team, like everybody goes to practice every day. They work together. They get productive together. They train together. If you go to the gym, if you have a workout partner, you're much more consistent. You're more productive because you surround yourself with people who are, being productive. So it's definitely something that can rub off on you. So make sure that on the contrary, or on the other side of that, is that if you have people that are not productive, that will rub off on you as well. So be aware of who you give your time to and how productive, that can turn into things for you, because, you want to be around people that are productive for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a big one too. As I'm sitting here thinking about, like productivity and how that all works, like, we're talking about the time you get up, making sure you can fit everything in. One tip I've read a lot is like, if you want to get a handle on your time, like the first thing you do is just document, right? Like keep a log of everything you're doing throughout the day and the time you're spending on it. And yeah, I know you and I both use programs for that, right? Well, there's Rescue Time is one we've used. I don't know another one that kind of tracks what you do. And it also allows you to like shut off social media and block yourself from going to certain websites during certain time periods so that you stay productive. I found like a lot of times especially when I was working a job and trying to do my business on the side, like they're just like, I was really unrealistically hard on myself about what I could get done. Like I set the bar way too high, right? Like when you're working 55, 60 hours a week, like, you have to be real. There's not a lot of extra time between family work to do a lot of stuff. So, I used to really beat myself up over that. It wasn't until I kind of relaxed and was like, look, I'm just going to do what I can do when I can do it, that, it started to get better and I actually started getting things done. But I think, checking out your time, seeing what's available, that kind of stuff, really making a conscious decision about what activities you want to focus on, right? And then, and that can change, by the way, that doesn't need to be a permanent thing. Like, when you're getting a business off the ground, you may need to spend a lot, like you may need to make the sacrifice. Like we wanted to make the sacrifice early, right? Like we would rather sacrifice not doing the things we maybe want to do now to be able to do them later with a foundation behind us, if that makes any sense. So, there's that trade-off. You got to kind of like work all that stuff out for yourself. And then some other techniques I've tried that have worked is like I don't know what it's called. It's like where you set a timer, like you sit down and you set a timer for 45 minutes.
Pomodoro.
Yeah, and you work for 45 minutes and then you take, that kind of thing. That stuff has helped me as well. But surprisingly, it's been the easiest, most simple things that have helped me the most, right? Like making a list the night before of what I want to get done the next day.
Mm-hmm. Who does that?
Hitting the snooze button, working out first thing in the morning. Like it's surprisingly simple, the things that have made the biggest impact.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it just starts with the awareness, right? The self-awareness of like knowing what you need to do and then having a commitment to do it, and then a strategy set aside so that you can do it. If like the example of who here on this call right now still has like another job, like a full-time job, or is everybody here just side hustler, solopreneur, entrepreneur, freelancer? What level are you at? Are you a business owner, self-employed, or are you employed? I guess those are the questions.
I was going to say, if they're on this call and they have a job, they're like, should be working right now, probably.
Yeah. First of all, we'll get
back to work.
Don't go back to work. Stay here. Stay here and like the stream while you're at it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So what I was going to say, though, is like the way you work around that, if you want to start something else, is you have to continue. You actually have to continue to invest. And this is just my opinion. You have to continue to invest your time there, save up enough money so that you can have like 2, 3, 4 months of bills, have a little nest egg. And then that's when you can start to transition, maybe go part-time at your job or leave your job. But only after you have that nest egg are you really going to be able to get more time to set more time aside to really go all in. And you can do that gradually. But the first way is usually to like, if you're not fired or you didn't get laid off or something like that, then you have to start saving up cash flow and then slowly make the decision once you get more comfortable and you get a little more security in what you're doing, find that the market is receptive to what you're offering, then you can make the transition.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, we just we started this show off with a bang, just right into the content and the tips. But we need to take a step back for a minute because we need to celebrate some successes before we get any deeper into this. So we are going to do some shark shout outs. And for that, I'm going to share my, oh, by the way, first, before I do that, if you go to this link, everyone see this link on your screen, offlinesharks.com/shout outs. You go to that link every week. We have the new shout outs post there every week. And what we'd like you to do is go there and just say congratulations, leave a comment, say way to go, good job, congratulate the sharks there. And then at the end of the show, we give away some Cash App money for people that left comments on there. So that is definitely a way for you to.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
I love that song. So yeah, you leave a comment, and then we'll pick some random people from the comments there, and you'll get some Cash App money from us. So go to that link, leave a congratulations, a heck yeah, way to go, and then let's talk about these shark shoutouts. So Facebook has been jacking with the way that you can see. So I apologize that I can't make this any bigger. Hold on.
Kevin Patches. Hey, Patty.
Yeah. Here is the shark shout out screen. And I know it's hard to see this. This is what the post looks like. Here's our winners, our celebrants. We have 8 shark shout outs this week. We've got Sherry Sanderson, Brad Lunsford, Randy Batt, Ruben Rothschild, Clint Howard, Daniel Lesser, Bruce Mayo, and Brian Bean. And I'm going to go through and tell you what each one of them did. But go to this post. Again, offlinesharks.com/shout outs. Let them know good job. And let's talk about what they have going on. I saw in the notes that 5 of the people in this mix reported just around $5,000 in total business closed for last week. So that's really awesome. So let's start with Brad Lunsford. So Brad had a tree service company ask for a solo mailer while he was prospecting for his 9x12 mailer. There's a little lesson, right? Like he's doing the 9x12 mailer, lucked into a solo mailing. So he's doing 2,000 solo mailers on top of the 9x12 he's trying to fill up. Congratulations, Brad. That is freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. Clint Howard. Clint Howard is doing an 8.5x11 mailer. So a little different size. To be sent to 5,000 homes. 15 spots in total, and so far he's sold 4 spots. Congratulations, Clint. That is amazing. Awesome work. Awesome work.
Man, the print marketing has been just crushing it. People have been
man, I saw all the posts in there. It's like crazy. Yeah. I think we even have a couple more in here too. Yeah, look, Sherry Sanderson. So Sherry, we'll get the she sharks in here, Nick.
Let's do it.
Sherry is a she shark, and she had her first mailer sent off to the printer. She set out to do a 21 ad mailer. However, she sold only 4 spots. She gave one away and used 1 for her business. Despite not selling the other 15 spots, she went on to print in order to meet her deadline. She says she didn't make a profit, but she didn't also have to come out of her pocket to fulfill it. So she broke even.
Hey, that's good. I mean, I'm sure the people that she mailed for are going to be pretty happy because they have a lot of real estate on her mailer. And
and think about that too. Like if you look, she showcased her business as well, right? So really she got to do a promotional mailing for herself and what she has going on, generate some activity. People are going to see that thing. They're going to recognize it later, and it didn't cost her a dime.
Right. It's free advertising. proof of concept, experience. My favorite is getting paid to actually learn. You know, like when I was in school, I always wanted to like somehow get paid while I was at school, but that was never going to happen, right? But if you kind of shift your thinking with this, like you can actually build something, something that you have equity in, which is your business. And, you know, you can get paid in the process of learning these things.
Yeah. And I'm sure she's going to like crush. If she should do another mailer, right? Like Sherry, if you're listening to this, I would start putting out feelers about doing a second one, showing people the first one, see if you can get a little better traction. Don't like this may not be like, you know, the booming success that you wanted, but it's definitely success and it's a move in the right direction. So don't get discouraged. Keep pushing forward, right? Keep pushing forward. The breakthroughs don't always come on the first time around. So good job, Sherry. Ruben Rothschild said, keeping the momentum going with the mailers. He got back out prospecting. He sold 3 spots for the second mailer. So this is already Ruben's second mailer, $1,250 total for those spots. Brian Bean closed his first 9x12 coupon customer on the first call, a local burger place for $4.90. That's always a good feeling when you close the first one. Oh, yeah. Bruce Mayo secured a new client for who he will be doing SEO and Google My Business services. It was $695 up front and $695 a month. That's a solid deal right there.
Yeah, it's good to see Bruce again. It's been a little while since I've seen him. So
I know, yeah. It was nice to see him and Randy Bett, who's our next shark shout out. I hadn't seen him on here in a while too, and it's good to see that Randy completed his second mailer, which is an 8.5 by 11 in collaboration with a realtor who again covered the postage. So he got a realtor to cover the postage, and he said, "Look, you cover the postage, I'll put you on there." I mean, that's great. That's great.
So he actually set up a deal that was similar to Sherry, right? Like,
yeah. So, well, he actually sold it like, so let's say you're going to do a 10,000 mailer. You go to the real estate agent and you say, look, I'm going to put your branding on this thing. All you do is pay the postage. It's $1,800. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, but like, that's basically what Sherry did, right? Like she got
basically what Sherry did. Yep.
And she got to put her advertising on there too, and basically got a paid promo mailing. Like, you know, now all those are going to go. I bet you she gets clients out of it. I bet you she does.
Yeah. He said honorable mention for securing Little Caesars as an advertiser of his. Profit on this mailer, $1,000, and he plans to raise the prices for the ads moving forward. So $1,000. Not bad. Not bad. And he got Little Caesars.
Yeah.
Every time we drive, so I see those commercials, and every time we drive by, I always go, Little Caesars, because I think that commercial is so funny. But my kids are like, Jesus, Dad. Awesome. And then I saved this one for last because, Nick, I don't know if you are aware of this, but we recently rolled out a new coaching program called Remote Millionaires. Did you know we did that? No, I didn't know that we did that. Okay. Well, we did that. Well, you've been lollygagging in Central Park up there in New York. No, I'm just kidding. Nick has been the big driving force behind getting all of that together, working on all the logistics, getting all the systems is in place. He's been like working freaking like a madman on that thing. And Daniel is one of our members of Remote Millionaires. And so I actually had an intro call with Daniel the other day, and I asked him to make this post in the Facebook group because he was telling me about what he did. So here's what the shout out says. The shout out says, and Daniel has a partner, I believe his name is Amit. Really, really nice guys, like super go-getters. When they got on the intro call, Nick, they had a Marvel video arcade game, like the real video arcade game, like behind them. I was like, dude, I want to hang out in your office. He's like, yeah, we play somebody. That's probably anti-productivity, huh?
Yeah.
Having a video game in your office.
Yeah, don't do that. Your office right now, your office is streamlined for mass productivity, Tom. Just keep it that way. It is, yeah. Nothing in here to even distract me. He said he secured a new, and he told me about this right before. He said right before he hopped on the call with me,
he got this 500-pound. He's in the UK. A 500-pound client had just paid him right before he got on the intro call for Remote Millionaires, and it was a web design client. So it's $691 US. This allowed him to progress to Bull Shark in the path to six figures. So they've been going through the path to six figures. This allowed them to progress. This was the client that he recently got, but he's gotten 3 clients. So this was, I think, the third or the fourth of these clients that he got. But if you're wondering, well, what did he do to get these clients? Well, Nick and I have talked a lot about this method of pre-building a website and then just going out and offering it to people. Maybe some of you have seen that. That's exactly how Dan and his partner Amit have been getting these clients. They're using the Offline Sharks theme, Roofer Roundup, and then they set it up on a domain, and then they just reach out to roofers that don't have websites. They're doing it really old school. Like they're just going to Google, putting in a location and looking in the listings for the ones that don't have websites. And then they're just calling them up and saying, hey, we built this website. We need to get rid of it. Like it was part of a project, but we don't need it. And because it was, because we just need to get rid of it, you can have it for only 500 pounds. And they're sending them the link. They sold 3 of those. Great.
Such a good strategy. And that will always work because websites become outdated, right? They're perishable as technology changes, as competitors rebuild their websites and they stay up to times. Your website inevitably gets older and more outdated. So yeah, there will always be a market for new websites and redesigns and rebuilds and people that don't have them yet.
Yeah. And that strategy really takes the pressure out of it because it's already done, right? So like, if you're someone who doesn't have any clients, who has no real credibility to speak of, nobody ever asks, who have you worked for? What have you done? Because you're like, look, here's the thing you're buying. It's already finished, right? Like
it takes the risk out of it. That's
it takes the risk out of it for them. Totally takes the risks out of it for the client. And plus they get a great deal, right? They get a great deal. So, and by the way, if you heard me tell that whole little story, and your first thought was, yeah, but that prospecting method isn't scalable. What do you do to get 100 clients? You need to go back to the drawing board and get your first 3 clients. And then you can ask me that question.
Yeah, you must have 3 clients in order to ask that question.
Yeah. It's like,
there's a prerequisite.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember somebody the other day asked me, how am I going to get 100 clients? And I was like, well, how many clients do you have right now? They were like, none. I was like, well, how about we ask the question, how do we get 1 client? Like, let's do that first. Let's do that first. And then we'll work on getting to the rest of the way.
Yeah. Hey, well, what about me, man? I got some clients. This week.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
I would like to share. I did make a post in the group. I just didn't make the shout outs. It's okay. Shashan, it's okay. I know.
It'd be really special to make the shout outs.
Yeah. Maybe one day. So yesterday we closed a website. I think it was $5,000. I to be completely transparent with you, I'm not saying this to sound like a tool. I'm just saying this to sound like I wasn't a part of the process, right? I have my business runs. I have SOPs. I have ways to get customers to come in. I have people that respond to those customers when they come in. We have a process of onboarding, pre-qualifying, and bringing a sale in, and we have outsourcers to do all that stuff. So yesterday I saw an invoice come in for, I think it was like $3,500 on 2/3 deposit for a website. I'm not really sure what kind of business it is, but that's a great deal, right? $5,000 website.
That's awesome.
And so I can, and the way that they came in, Tom, is so basically we're doing a lot of different types of prospecting. One of the ways that we do prospecting is through our Hawaii Thrive website, right? So we have our AGM website set up. And so we're giving away listings to businesses in our area. We're collecting their email address and we're sending them emails periodically because they now know who we are. We're building trust. Now, one of the things that we've been doing is looking over the emails that we send out, and you can see in ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign or MailChimp or Go High Level, whatever you use, you can see who's opening your emails, right? You can see their email address. So you get this big list. You send out an email, you get a list of people that have opened, and then you get a even smaller list because it's usually less people who have clicked than opened, right? So you got clicks and then opens. And to us, that means that these people are interested in whatever that topic of that email was, right? Especially if they click. The clickers are like, they're kind of like leads, right? They're kind of like hot leads. And if you do your messaging correctly, if your email, let's say, is about a website issue or a new deal or a new offering or a new way to do something, and somebody opens it and they click some of the links inside of it to get more information, chances are that person is interested in that topic. So if you can just look that person up and review them and do a little bit of research, see if they have a website, see if they're doing social media, see if they're ranking in Google, you might find yourself wanting to shoot a little Loom video and say, hey, Dave, I had a look at your website and it's really slow, or I think you could get more customers by doing this, and send it over to them. They're going to recognize you from your emails. They're going to recognize you from the person with your AGM website. And that's how we got that customer. We had somebody was just shooting Loom videos, prospecting to the people that open and click our emails. And it's been a great source of good leads. So if you're not doing that, be doing that.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations on that. Way to go.
Thanks.
Any other wins before we move on to the next thing?
Yeah, I'm not going to go like crazy in detail, but basically in the last 2 weeks, we managed to get about 180 opt-ins of local business owners from some paid traffic. That's a new strategy we haven't really talked about yet. But yeah, I've been testing it out, working behind the scenes. 180 opt-ins and like 20 scheduled appointments. I've sold 2 people on Google Ads.
Wow.
So
that's
something we might be talking about later. Remote millionaire.
Maybe down the road if everybody's lucky. Yeah. Awesome job. Well, look, we want to do some more celebrating of you, the people in our community. Enough of celebrating Nick. Enough of that goes on around here anyway. Jeez. Yeah. You should see the Slack channel. It's nothing but good job, Nick. Way to go, Nick.
That's not true. That's not true. It's more like messages from Nick being like, where's this? Where's that? Let's do this.
Yeah. What's going on with that? Get it in gear, people. Yeah. Awesome. So we do want to celebrate you, some more people in our community. So now I think is a good time for us to do our member of the week. And we have a great member of the week this week. I'm going to share my screen here. Yeah, you know, is this a holiday? Oh, you know why the attendance is low today, Nick?
Why?
Because it's Friday the 13th.
Oh.
Friday the 13th is my lucky day, by the way, but not everybody views it that way.
I guess that could be it.
Yeah. Here we go. So our member of the week, we give this award out, by the way, every week for someone who is an exemplary steward of our community. Woo, that was hard to say. Someone who had success, helps out in the group, is really showing up. And our member of the week this week is, can't do the drum roll, Sherry Sanderson. Sherry Sanderson. And that is I love that family picture there. So again, Sherry wrapped up her first mailer. She broke even on it. I know it wasn't like one of these big crushing wins, but it was an awesome effort, great work, and I'm sure it's the start of good things to come. So Sherry, thanks for sharing that in the group. Thanks for keeping it real and being authentic, and thanks for taking action and getting some results. So really, really love it. So Sherry, you're our member of the week. And if you guys can let Sherry know in the stream here, congratulations, way to go, blow up her Facebook. And someone from our team, if you're not on here, we'll reach out to you. We got some special Sharks stuff coming your way. Awesome. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so Nick, we got a couple of other things to do.
Sherry's going to be like, I'm looking at all the taggings coming through. She's going to be like, what the heck?
Yeah. What's
Congrats,
going
Sherry.
on? Yeah, come on, people, give us some likes and some love up here. I mean, I know we only have about 50 people on here today, which is kind of light, but man, give us some likes and stuff up here. Get us going. Give us some love. One of the other things I wanted to do, Nick, before we get to to my ultimate productivity tip. I don't know what your ultimate productivity tip is. I hope you had one, saved it up till the end of the show. Probably should have mentioned that before we got on here. But we'll figure it out. One of the other ways to really help with your productivity and stuff like that, right, is to there's lots of things that we pick up that are out there in the market space with our end goal being productivity. So we've talked about these a lot before. PLR packages, done for you marketing services, like marketing materials, stuff like that. Those are all things that usually when we see them, we just buy them without really whether we need them or not, right? Because there's been a lot of times over the years that we have gotten a client or ran into our project where we've been able to go back to that well of stuff we've accumulated and use it, right? And maybe we didn't get value out of it at the time, but we did then. And it's kind of like what copywriters call a swipe. Like copywriters have what they call a swipe file, right? Where they collect headlines and sales letters and ads. And so whenever they need to go create something new, they start by looking in their swipe file for something similar to see, like that way they're not just starting from a blank page, right? So we've kind of taken that idea to local marketing as well. So anything that's like that, done for you, marketing materials, sales materials, stuff like that, softwares that can help you do something really easily. We take a good look at those things and a lot of times pick them up, even if we don't have a project that's going to use them at the time, because again, we found they can come in very handy down the road. And one of our friends in the space, Taki has, I think they just went live with this a few days ago. He released something that was really good that allows you to quickly create apps. Like, it's really slick the way this thing works. And I'm going to put the link here. I'm going to show you guys the link. So at the bottom of the screen, there's offlinesharks.com/Appamize. That's the name of the tool. And I think you guys should go check it out. You'll see there's a little video there that shows how it works, all that stuff. But it is a really slick piece of software. I know Taki always puts out really great stuff. He has great support. He's got a couple of partners in this thing. It's been a while in development, but I think the Sharks will love it. So you should go check it out, offlinesharks.com/Appamize. Even if you're not doing apps right now, this may be something, this thing is so easy to use and it does it so quickly. It may be something that you could bring in and even offer as a foot in the door or as a service in your community. Because I'm pretty sure it basically takes the website, right, and does that. So it's really awesome. Go check it out, offlinesharks.com/Appamize. I will leave that up there. You can look at it after the stream. We do have just a couple more things to do. I want to give my ultimate productivity tip, and then we can take some questions, Nick. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Before you do that, I just want to say I have tapped into my well a couple of times in the last week of my stock and swipe files, swipe documents. I've had to, as I mentioned, I've been working on this other strategy where I've pulled in about 100 and something leads. I've had to build out different things to do that, right? Like if I come up with a new client getting strategy and I need to go after it, I don't have time to go write a bunch of sales copy. I don't have time to go write follow-up emails. I don't have time to put together a lead magnet, So that's where this type of thing comes in. These apps, I mean, you can create apps. A lot of businesses ask us all the time, hey, do you create apps? And if you have a way to create apps, you don't have to say no. You don't have to say no. I mean, so that's obviously for the price too, it's a good deal. Yeah.
It's super inexpensive. It's on a launch special. So yeah, definitely check it out. So look, my ultimate productivity, man, I'm having trouble talking today. Productivity tip is this. When you fall off the productivity wagon, cut yourself some slack and just get back up and start going again. I think that is like was a huge realization for me. Like I used to try to start doing things consistently, and when I would stop doing them, it was almost like I just gave up, right? I didn't realize that I could just start over at any time I wanted. Like it didn't have to be a continuous, unbroken stream of activity. It was just important that if I stopped doing it, that I kept doing it again. And I bring this up because, recently I moved to Vegas, and with all of the stuff that was going on in Hawaii, with getting the house all cleared out and moving here, like my morning routine took a huge hit. But once I got here and we got settled in, I was just like, haven't been doing such a good job on that. No worries. We just pick it up and start moving forward again. So my ultimate productivity tip to you is cut yourself some slack. And if you mess up, if you get off track, just take a deep breath and start again. Like, don't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah, that's a good one, Tom, especially because it really is. It's tough to get back on the horse, like you said. It really is. And the first step, no matter what, is just like taking a step. Taking a step back. If it's eating right, it's like, well, then fix your next meal, right? Don't worry about eating that way for the next 5 years. Just worry about
right now. Like, yeah.
Worry about the next one, and you build those habits. Those habits eventually translate into like that ability to build those habits. I'm going to go back to the consistency thing, because for me, that's really everything. It's consistency. That's basically the same thing to me as habits, is developing a habit to be consistent with whatever it is that you're trying to do. And that will eventually lead to skills, which will take you to from beginner business owner. If we're talking about beginner business owner, you keep a consistent habit with prospecting, bringing in customers, because fulfillment is pretty easy if you know what you're doing with outsourcing. And that will take you to a place where you need to then, in order to level up, work on your beliefs. It's more of a mindset thing once you hit 6 figures to get to $1 million, because the most difficult thing ever is to make $100,000. Like, it's way more difficult to make 100 than $1 million. Like, Tom, when we first made our first $1 million, we basically didn't do anything different other than what we were doing, but just more consistently.
Yeah, it was so crazy because we were at the time, we were actively looking for something new to do so we could hit that mark. I remember when somebody told us, they were like, because we had done like $500,000, and they were like, you've done the hard part. Like, the $500,000 is the hard part. Like, you're not gonna find anything new that's gonna get you there. You just need to look at what you're already doing and do it better, streamline it, do more of it. That's how you get there. And they were absolutely right. It was a little bit of a shocker.
I mean, I would argue that, we were at $500,000 at the time, but I would argue getting to 100,000 per year is even more difficult. Even getting your first sale can even be a little more difficult for most people. And it's really, again, getting your first sale and your first 100,000, like, across the bridge. And in order to get it across the bridge, you literally have to get in the habit of doing specific things every single day. And that repetition is going to get you to that goal. It's going to move that pile of money across the bridge over to you. And if you can keep that consistency up, then you're going to be in a different stage of more mindset and shifting your mindset in order to get to a next level. And then the next level beyond that is really with people, right? For those of you that are already at the 6-figure mark, trying to get to $1 million, you get from 1 million to 2 million by bringing in more people, 2 million to 50 million. It's just more and more and more people.
Yeah. Awesome, man. This has been a great live show. Maybe we can take a couple quick questions, Nick, and then we may wrap this up a little early. I actually have a call that starts right at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, yeah, you guys, let's take a quick round of questions. If you guys have any questions, it could be about Tom, his life in Las Vegas, how much money he's lost in Las Vegas, how big his new giant mansion that he's living at with the pool and the hot tub and all the cool
oh my God.
things he's got going on now, or it can be just about like, boring stuff about, building a business and getting clients. And
What are you talking about? Me in Vegas? You're the one living on Wall Street there, buddy. On Wall Street,
Enough
not
about that.
like just
Don't
on
think about
Wall Street
don't think about that.
with a private doorman. The private doorman.
Don't think about that. It's not important. Also, you could be, if you have any questions about any of the, things that we're working on, obviously we just stopped taking applications, I believe, for remote millionaires.
Yeah. So I saw this question about, seriously, why did you guys move? So there's a couple of things there. So for me, my wife, I don't know if I've ever talked about this. My wife had some medical issues during the pandemic, not related to the pandemic, but she had some medical issues. And so it really made us kind of reevaluate what we wanted to do and what types of things we were looking to do as a family. And one of the things we really wanted to do was travel. And it's not very conducive to travel from Maui. So, you can't really just go somewhere for the weekend, or, if you go anywhere, one, it's expensive to get everybody off the island. I mean, I have 4 people that I'm tugging along, sometimes 5 and 6 when you count the grandmas. So it's expensive to get off the island. It takes a long time just to get to the mainland. Then you got to go to wherever else you're going. Again, you can't just take short little trips. So we just made a decision. We wanted to be in a place where we could travel a little more easily and do some more stuff. Been on a Maui for 11 years. We love it. We think it's a fantastic place. Obviously, Offline Sharks is still based there. My mom still lives there. Miranda's mom still lives there. It's not like we're, separating forever, but we just wanted to be in a location that would serve what we wanted to do as a family better. So we looked around and we picked Nevada and Vegas. So we came to check it out. And then I got here officially 2 weeks ago. We moved here. Nick, what's your story with New York?
I mean, I didn't move. I mean, I moved, but like, I still have,
You're just there temporarily, but you've been there for a while. That's why everybody thinks you moved, because you're there for what, 4 months?
I've been here for about 4 months. In fact, I bought another like 3 houses before I left. So like, I got even more entrenched there. So I'm very much there, just not right now. So John says, you guys lost your Maui cred. I don't think so, man. I don't know if you know this, but I got a really big 808 tattoo across my chest. So I don't think
and by the way, they call Las Vegas is the 9th island.
The 9th island. That's
Las
because
Vegas
so many
is the
people
9th island.
go
You
there
and
to gamble.
I just met yesterday. I met another person from Hawaii. Like, I've been running into people from Hawaii. Everybody I talk to, they're from Oahu. Their family lives on Oahu. The guy I met last night was from Maui. He actually lived in Kahului. And it was funny. I was driving in the car the other day, and a car commercial came on for a tire place here. And the car commercial was basically this: did you move here from Hawaii? You need to come to Big Old Tires. We have all the mahalo. Like, they were using all the Hawaii words. It was like totally a Hawaii commercial, but broadcast on the radio in Nevada. So it's the 9th island, so it wasn't like that big of a leap.
Well, it's funny because Hawaii has Hawaii's a melting pot of people, right? We had, back in the day, we had the sugarcane industry, the pineapple industry. So we had a lot of people coming from China, from Portugal. Those are my ancestors. Filipinos, Japanese, it's just a melting pot of nationalities. And so we have a big gambling community amongst the Filipinos. They love to gamble, card games, peanut bet, like chicken fighting, all those things. And so they love going to Las Vegas, and it has been a huge part of our culture to go to Las Vegas and gamble. And so, yeah, they have casinos in Las Vegas, like the California. If you ever go to the California, it's like walking into freaking.
It's all. I mean, it's totally targeted to Hawaii people. Like,
is.
That's their main clientele, right?
Yeah.
So there is a lot of gambling here, but just so you guys know, I do not live on the Strip. So I am not holed up in one of the major casinos. I actually got a place in an area called Summerlin. So technically it's Las Vegas, but it's called Summerlin. And so I'm about 15, 20 minutes away from the Strip. It's a awesome little community, very, family oriented, and lots of great stuff here. Like, I don't ever have to go to the Strip for anything. So, but yeah, I haven't even been to the Strip since we moved here. So of course it's only been 2 weeks. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, it was another amazing live show. Look, if you guys haven't yet, go check out Apamize, offlinesharks.com/Apamize. I think you guys will love it. Really great tool, really awesome software, really something you should look at. Take a look at it. I hope our productivity tips helped you out, maybe helped you carve a little more time to show up to this live show every week, right? So you don't feel so like you're missing out on anything when you're here. You can actually have the time to come and do it. And thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next Friday. Same shark time, same shark channel, everybody.
See everyone.
Here we go.
You've been listening to the Sharks Live Show, your weekly local marketing jam session. Every week, packed full of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube and Tom's podcast at tomgaddis.com. We'll be back here next Friday for another Sharks Live Show. Until then, aloha.
Nick, guess what we forgot to do?
What?
We forgot to give away the Cash App money.
Oh man.
Here, do it real quick. Who are the winners?
Hold on, I'll have to look. We were both just like waiting for it to end.
I know we were waiting for it to end. And then I saw a comment that was like, no Cash App money? Here, while you're finding them, I'll play this one more time.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Man, what a save.
Okay, who are the winners?
Save, Tom. Our winners are Norm Thomas and Steve Bryan.
Norm Thomas, Steve Thomas, congratulations. And now we really will see you next week on the Friday Aloha Marketing Live Jam session.